I was trying to prep for this and kept looking, going, oh god, what is it like? And the background's all like before I even press the button. So sorry. Salutations. Good evening. Hello. um. Honestly, I have no idea why I'm doing this one tonight because there ain't nothing going on. um, just wanted to check in and say, how you doing? How's things? How you been? I hope your pre-Christmas is a little bit more exciting than mine. I mean, mine was. I have to say that, the anticipation waiting for the book probably just helped to make a few days feel a little exciting. I'm not saying the book's arrival was an anticlimax by any means, but yeah. I've hardly had the chance to look at it though. I just spent about, I don't know, maybe an hour. I haven't even spent an hour looking at it. Just this is beautiful. Honestly, no. I feel like I really need to like put proper time aside because it's such a tome. You just feel like I'm like touching it with kid gloves because I'm there was a guy, I can't remember who it was, someone on Smog, I think it might have been here, Ian Hopkins, is that his name? Someone in the group like kind of alluded to me that they got both, that they got the actual special edition box set thing and then just order the second copy of the book. So almost like, oh, I'm gonna keep the box pristine, untouched, and then the second book will be my book to read. And I'm like, if you bought both of those at full price, wow, that's a lot of investment. God. And then I was thinking, that was a really good idea because normally I would do that with other things. Like I do that with Ronnie's books. I certainly more. I always, well, especially not everyone, but especially of Simple Minds books or books that I really want to peruse. Like I will get 2 copies of. So like one just remains the sort of collector's item copy that never gets touched. And the other is one for me to flick through and possibly maybe even take pictures out to display and stuff, which is that's what I had. I mean, I actually have. You would have seen it today. You would have seen my post this morning. Hopefully by now. This morning, this afternoon. No, I think I still did it morning time. Hope. of the actual pictures, the 3 pictures I got from Ronnie. The second one of which, the black and white one, is over on the other side. But that replaces in the frame. Well, they're still in the frame. They're just behind it now. Portrait photos of Jim that Richard Coward had taken that were in one of Ronnie's books. So maybe at some point that'll come out and those will be displayed again, because I do like having rotation, as you can see here with the, I was doing the video yesterday of all the trying to make it Christmas theme. I just need tinsel running across it now. Probably need to get the new one. There's another thing. I have about 3 copies of the new Coltrane Tour program as well. Because I'm terrible like that, where I just go, okay, like, well, actually, I got the first copy I got of the New Gold Dream Tour program. I wasn't seeing any. I wasn't seeing any copies anywhere, and I would have been happy to have just seen like just a copy that it was just the thing. Would have happily paid whatever for it, which I kind of almost did in the end, because the first copy I saw on eBay when I was really like looking around going, this is, I have a holy grail until I get it, and then there's a new holy grail, like at the moment, the whole, probably my holy grail is some piece of memorabilia of Jim's, like that scarf would have been amazing had I, been able to spend, what the hell did it go for? 568 quid on a scarf? I can't. The boots the couple of years back, I so wanted to bid for those boots. Yeah. But no, 460 quid on boots was a no as well. So, something like that will remain ultimate holy grail. But before that, the very first kind of holy grail piece that I was chasing was having a copy of the New Gold Dream Tour program. And so the first one that I got, the first one I saw on eBay, was one that is a signed copy. I think it has Jim's, Derek's, and Charlie's signatures, if they really are, I mean, they looked legit, but you just have to take someone's word for it. They looked legitimate, but maybe they're a really good forge artist. I don't know. 40 quid. It cost me 40 quid for that copy. And then subsequently I saw 2 more copies over the ensuing months. And the next copy I saw, I just went, oh man, why couldn't have this one been sold first? Because I didn't want a signed copy. I just wanted a regular copy. The next copy I got, what did I pay for it? It wasn't in the best condition. And that I wasn't really too worried about either. Because the one that I got, the signed copy that cost me 40 quid. The picture, the pictures inside, I don't know if you're familiar with them. You know what I'm like with photos and everything. I'm just, these are the things I retain, I have a really appalling memory for a load of other things. For these things, so there's a picture of Jim inside it with these really thick frame glasses on, and there's probably not a photo of Jim that I don't love. But it had this really strange gloopy green blobby mark near it, and I was like, oh. Because it was one of the reasons why I wanted the thing, was one, for that picture, to see what else was in it, and then to have the picture, with the, this is where I don't know where I'm going. God, do I go off on friggin' tangents or what? Oh, why do I just go and just start off all over the damn place? So, yeah, where was I going? I don't know. I was probably going to talk about tinsel and things, because then that made me think of that, and yeah, and the silly little thing with the glue dot on them, yeah. And I was going, oh yeah, that New Girl Dream tour program. That was, well, actually, that was the other one. I didn't dare put the signed one in there. That was the other one I got. So I have three, and one only cost me £4, and I was like, rather £4 than 40 quid, because in my head I'm going, look, I could have always carried this along with me and then got Jim and Charlie to sign it some other time. I didn't want to sign one. I didn't need one. um, yeah, and the books and the thing and the where was I going with this? Just getting multiples. I don't know where I was going. Geez, I need a rewind button. Oh my god. Oh, the book and talking about someone getting multiples. Yes. But I can't have a multiple thing for that. I can't justify, buying that copy and then having, maybe if, Amazon's still selling it for 30 quid. I thought about it and I thought, no, it's just too ridiculous. It's too, it's decadent. It's cavalier and extravagant. No, like, I don't need 2 copies. So I'm just being very, very careful with the one that I have. And so I'm just taking my time and needing time to just settle and give myself time to have a bit of time to devote to it, Oh, pardon me. Oh dear. Why do I do this when I've just had tea? Oh, that's awful. Sorry, I'm really burpy. That's awful. So, at the moment, it is a very vicarious kind of reading things of, like, because, it's early pages, early days, like, it's such lovely input from people. But as much as I see, like, lovely things, I also see things where I go, that is friggin', like, I've stopped reading this bit because I'm going, you just ripped this from the thing. The first piece from Mick is literally word for word. Don't even try to make out like you interviewed him for it or whatever. Word for word. When he was doing those things, he was doing the kind of, he had that little dabble in the DJing thing, and he was doing those things for, what was that station called now? It was like a kind of independent thing for, like, like a kind of pro-Scottish independence radio station thing. I can't remember what it was called now. And he did about sort of 3 or 4 things. And I remember tuning in because I took a big chunk of it. Between you, me, and Lamppost, I think they actually were, like, referencing stuff from my blog. I think. Because there are just things where I just like, that's what that, person said to me, or that was just, there are bits in Bruce's thing where I just go, you got that from my interview with him, didn't you? Just because the wording is almost like word for word completely the same. I mean, I know Bruce kind of can have a propensity to like give over the same elements of a story kind of thing, but the thing with Mick was word for word the stuff that he had said on this thing that he was presenting. And I'm like, you've just written out, you've just put a transcript of everything that he said on that thing. That's a bit, naughty of you. But it was great. I mean, it was great, like, stuff. Yeah, I want to talk about it now that I'm starting to read it, but then I'm being, I want to be like careful of not spoiling anybody's, reading it themselves, and those people who I don't know how they're doing it, patience of saints, I swear. There's people waiting until Christmas Day to like open up their copy and start reading. I've been no, like I feel impatient enough that for one, I don't read fast. This thing is gonna take me weeks to read. And just two, like I just want to devour it all already, just I want to put a spoiler alert. Just skip like from this point. I don't know. I don't know how you know when to come back in, but from this point, if you haven't read it and you're saving it for Christmas Day, skip a bit, okay? Just say you need to skip like 5, probably 10 minutes. Right, so it's 17.5 minutes roughly. I'll give you. If we get to about 23 minutes, we'll see where we're at. Okay. Right. We're safe now. Those of us reading it, we're safe. We're safe to chat. Opening with Joe Donnelly and his bit. I mean, how do you even choose who gets to be first to say something in the book and then who gets the last word? Yeah. So Joe, yeah. Oh, and just still just that story of the Biberon gig and the kids screaming and crying. It just cracks me up every time. It really does. And then I was just there like reading that, and then this time I'm going, oh my god. Like, my wonderful journey on the number 90 bus through the south side. And then I'm going, oh, shit, I really didn't realise that the Biberon thing happened at St. Bridget's. And I'm like, they're like just sort of thinking about that number 90 bus trip home, and going past the Bridget's and going, oh my god, that makes it even more special again. I'm gonna take a second. Oh god, I'm sorry, I really had the seed in my nose. It was getting problematic, and well, it still is slightly, but I didn't want to sit here again going, even though I am. Oh, because it's not quite, sorry. Jesus, I'm such a grant, honestly. Oh, God. Real catch. Yeah, so there was that. And then, I mean, and then just me putting myself in the place of like a couple of years back and just, I like sitting around like old friends. That was so lovely. I mean, first I was sitting around with a bunch of their kind of friends or people who'd known them for a long time around this table and like just this was a Caesar after show thing, and I'm like in amongst these people I don't really know, or but it was just lovely. They were all just like chatting amongst themselves and they were being really lovely to me and chatting to me and stuff, and I'm just like this was a real super fish out of water moment kind of thing. Yeah, and then we were waiting around for Joe and Jinky to like come in and like sort of have a chat with us, and it just felt I was putting myself back in that place, and it was all feeling very surreal and strange, and yeah, and they were really lovely. I mean, they couldn't hang around for very long. They didn't really, but yeah, it was really lovely. And very strange to be. I mean, because that was probably the first time I even experienced something like that. Maybe the warm digits thing would have happened a few weeks before that, but like it was like twice in a row almost. I don't think I had a gig in between, so it's like these two very special things where like one, I actually got to hang out with a band. You can call, well, I mean, they're two piece, but I suppose they still are a band. In which I just almost like kind of hung out with them all day, kind of thing. Right? I mean, sound check and just sitting around chatting and things, and it's just I never had that kind of thing happen before, and then just that as well. Like a few weeks later, I have a kind of after show thing and sitting around with a bunch of people and chatting to people like I knew what the hell I was doing and stuff. And then just it was just and then I it's a few pages long, and I read the entry from Shirley McGee, and then it's kind of like she's saying all this stuff, but it's like all the way back then, and it's with being Brian's girlfriend and hanging out with the band, and saying the thing about when whenever Jim and Charlie see her, they just go, "You're surely you're one of us," that kind of thing, and like I'm just like, Charlie, can we swap? Please. Because that would just be amazing. Especially back then. Just to be there in the early days. And she just says the thing as well about, getting in the van and travelling along, and and Brian's driving, for God's sake, like just I can't imagine it. I can't imagine just being in amongst all that. Be awesome. TARDIS, please. So yeah, I am probably gonna have a lot more of these kind of like, geez, I wish I was you, vicarious friggin' reading them. Just kindly. If there's a way to transport me back and to just, oh. It just makes the already Johnny Come Lately feel like the most latest, you just missed all the good times, Johnny Come Lately, ever, ever, ever. And then I have to just remind myself that, I was on the other side of the world and barely 8 years old, and it wouldn't have happened anyway, even if I was here. Doesn't mean some wins somewhere and wherever. I don't know. So, and there's no point in doing the wishful thinking thing, even though I do all the time. They're the only bits I'll mention for now, though. Oh god, 26 minutes. I told people I was going to give them a check at 22. Shit. Oh well, shit. Hopefully they skip 10 minutes rather than 5. Oops. Sorry. Well, there's only short mentions in between, and I didn't really say too much. I mean, I didn't read things said verbatim and stuff, so hopefully it's okay. Yeah, so I'm about whatever that is. I mean, god, not even the 10th of the way through or something. I'm like about 35 pages in or something like that. So other than that, and seeing the lovely thing last night, it was very nice. Pardon me. Sorry. I was falling asleep halfway through some of the things. When they went to the more sort of like traditional carols being sung by opera singers and stuff, I could feel myself just like not because I was being bored, just because I was starting to feel quite tired, and I thought, oh god, don't have them come on and I fall asleep, please. Because as much as I was loving Misha Paris's thing, I really properly fell asleep. It was terrible. The thing that did keep me awake, though, the one performance that did keep me awake, well, apart from the obvious one, was the Kaiser Chiefs doing a very Christmassy sounding theme, doing, just a few bells on it, then it's Christmas. Then there's a Christmas theme. I Predict a Riot. I freaking love I Predict a Riot. So I was just there singing along still, pretending I remembered the words. I was kind of losing it a little bit during Cliff's performance. I say Cliff's performance. Oh my god, like honestly, why even be on? He literally mimed to the original studio version of Mistletoe and Wine, and pretending like he was singing live. Like he's, got his headphones on and stuff. And I'm going, well, at least if you got headphones and you're like holding it to your ear, you can't do your freaking Jesus thing that you do. So I'm like, thank God for that, at least. No Jesus swaying, thank God. Um, yeah, I think I kind of just sort of tuned down after a little while, you know. Sorry, Cliff. I mean, I love Wired for Sound and, Devil Woman and things. Dreaming. Dreaming is probably like my biggest freaking guilty pleasure, like, song that I love. But, there's only so much Cliff you can endure. And I wasn't in the mood to endure any Cliff last night. Sorry, Cliff, but I just want to jam. Not Cliff. But it was good. It was a good thing. And at least, you guys actually did, live performing rather than whatever the hell Cliff was doing. I don't know. Other than that, it's been a bit. I couldn't help but think before I started this that, about now it should really be kind of like the sort of a very busy time, but it just isn't. I felt, I'm thinking, there should be gigs I'm going to, and should be like just venturing off into the city every night and doing stuff, and the Christmas market should be on, and and the shops should be heaving, and just all the stuff that you like, that would be signifying Christmas. I mean, not that I want the Christmas to be signified by shops heaving and stuff. It's the wrong message. But you know what I mean? Like, just, I mean, lots of social gatherings already going on even before Christmas. Friends meeting up, like, in office parties and things, and just not that I work in an office either, but that you'd be going into the city and pubs would be full from, like these, office parties and things going on, and just. And I'm just scared to even just go, like, what? I'd like to just get into Tantrum and just have a few Christmas donuts. I'd like to get the baklava ring and try the mince pie brulee one, because I wasn't here last year and I didn't get to try them. And then a part of me goes, I really, really don't want to go into the city right now. Especially now that we're back down to tier 3 and there are non-essential shops open back up. Because, I don't know, well, maybe things aren't as bad as I think they would be in there. Maybe Buchanan Street is not so bad, but back to before pre-COVID times, and get into Glasgow on a Saturday and you walk down Buchanan Street, it was like so I can't imagine what it's like now. I mean, it was enough to see the like when on the Friday into the Saturday when the shops had opened back up, that people were queuing at the Primark of Braehead for 2 hours. Like, just that's ridiculous. A shop that was going to be open for 36 hours solid, and there was a 2-hour queue outside when they did open up. It's freaking insanity. But just the feeling that it would have been otherwise busy with lots of other things going on, Can't help but think about that. But it's just quiet. Well, it's quiet for me. It's quiet around here. It's good. I'm glad it's quiet around here. Pardon me. So yeah. Done an online shop. I mean, I always used to do it. Most years I do a Christmas online shop anyway, like online grocery shop, just because of the hell that is going into supermarkets near Christmas. Never been a fan. The one year, like, I think, like, actually, you know, I would like to actually do a shop in a supermarket rather than, because it just takes so long. An online shop takes so long. It just, there is no comparison. But I wish there was a way. I wish there was a design that allows you to actually walk down aisles and view things like you would in a supermarket, because viewing things on a list for an online shop is so friggin' time consuming. I mean, I probably would shop in, like, even if I did it leisurely in a supermarket, I would say I would take an absolute maximum of 2 hours to shop for the things that I would need or want in a supermarket for Christmas. Whereas so far, it's been nearly double that. I mean, I did some shopping the other day, and this shop is being delivered. It was being delivered tomorrow. Lucky I've bloody started finalising it today, because I would have, if I'd not done it today, I would have looked tomorrow going, oh shit, it's coming, and had a half empty bloody trolley. Like, so it was originally meant to be coming tomorrow lunchtime, which still, you know, wasn't quite close enough to, as close to Christmas as I would have liked it to be. So now it's coming Friday evening. But, you know, that first thing, it was like, took nearly the whole 2 hours just to get what wasn't very much in the trolley, and then taken almost another 2 hours today to finally, well, I say finally, finalize the thing, to be delivered on Friday night. But still, we're gonna go out tomorrow. I'm gonna not go anywhere near the city. We're gonna go to Annie's Land. So we can, you know, we'll have a Morrison's and an Aldi and an M&S food hall to look around there. And it means not going near the city, so it's good. Yeah, that's where you wish, like, there was a kind of out of town, you know, just down this way kind of tantrum shop. No one would be more ecstatic than me if there was a tantrum shop that suddenly sprung up in Postle Park or Springburn. Even if there was one in Bishopbriggs. Or there could be one in Annie's Land. That would be good. One in Maryhill. I don't know, just somewhere where it just meant I wouldn't have to go that way. Actually, not that way. That way would be, yeah, but that way. That meant I wouldn't have to go that way. apart from like doing some shopping tomorrow, so I'm afraid it's gonna just be like lugging us, loads of stuff home, weighed down, because don't dare hire a car or anything. So. Anyway, that's 40 minutes. 40 minutes of nonsensical, boring, damn waffle about whatever. I don't know. Nothing in particular. What date is it? 16th, is it? Is it the 16th? Yeah. Goof. What's I gonna say? What year is it? Oh yeah. Just reminding myself what year it is. Yeah, it's 2020, the year of the friggin' the year of the bumhole. Yeah, we are now approaching butthole. Tell me about it, lady. Yeah. I was just thinking of the date. It was pictures that showed up on my memories thing today of me looking very 80s as my role as bridesmaid for my sister. Anyway, I better go because this is turning into, I don't know what I want to talk about after waffling and things going off on a tangent and stuff. I'm dried up. I'm sure if I just sat here for long enough, I could think of another topic of conversation. I don't know. Worried about certain things. I mean, this thing about I'd be going to gigs and stuff. Well, the first gig, sorry, the floor's creaking. What the? Stop it. The first gig I have to go to next year, or the first date that is penciled in, whether I'm actually going to go or not, or whether this thing is going to go ahead, because I haven't heard anything else since the sort of, pardon me, God, I'm so burpy, is Warm Digits at the end of January in Newcastle. Pardon me. It's now been sort of done. There's this socially distant kosher gig, which is, it's all seating and all spaced out and things like that. But one, it's the end of January. It could be freezing damn cold. It's in Newcastle. It's a bit of a way to travel, but not too bad. But if it's snowing to buggery or whatever, like, I wouldn't really want to get on a train and get my butt to Newcastle. Also, I probably would have to spend the night there, because I can't imagine. Although, yeah, I'm doing the matinee, aren't I? There's a point. Yeah, it was, wasn't I? Because as part of the social distancing measures for this thing, they're going to be performing twice. So, and I booked myself in the matinee one. So I think the gig will be done and dusted by about 7:30. I think it is. And they start at 6 and done at 7:30. So I'm going to be out of the venue and done by 8. I guess if I could get a train back to Glasgow. You know, I'd be back by sort of, I don't know, I can't remember what the, is it 2 hours or is it 3? Or is it 4? I can't remember how long the train journey is from Glasgow to Newcastle. Can you think? Let me see. Just so I can take up your time. You know, you got time to just hang around and watch me look and see how long it takes to get a train to Newcastle, right? Why are you showing me getting trains to what? It's showing. I don't know why it's showing me trains from Newcastle to Glasgow, but I guess that's what I want to look at, isn't it? Really? So it's saying here, what would that be? That's my head. I can't do the calculation. Just under 3 hours, about 2.5 hours roughly. I'm showing one that's leaving at Newcastle at 6:44, gets in the Glasgow Central at 9:26. So yeah, I guess if the thing was done by 7:30 and I got to the station at 8, yeah, unless I'm going to hang around and talk to Andy and Steve, and I'd probably do that. And well, no, I can't because I'll be performing again. So yeah, I'll have to get my skates on, go home, also be socially distanced and everything. I won't be able to hang around and talk to him. Yeah, so let's do 7:30 done. 8 o'clock I'm at the station. Yeah, I would have a train back by about 11, wouldn't I? So I wouldn't have to stay tonight in Newcastle. I'll have to consider it. After that, the first gig then will be I haven't heard anything to, I haven't heard anything to the contrary yet about, and I was saying, we were talking to Bertie about this last night, about what the hell, why have we not had any update on the gigs in France and Germany that are still scheduled at the moment for March? Like, I'm getting a little bit worried about it. I want to know. Well, March into April, I think it is. Because it's been rescheduled, obviously, from this year, but I'm like, March 2021 is getting a bit near now, and are we really still doing these gigs in March? Because I need to know, because, like, this just, got Paris and Bordeaux to consider. Surely there isn't going to be a meet and greet going on, which Bordeaux was meant to be. I can't see that these are going to go ahead, so why have we not heard anything? Reschedule them for 2022 if you have to, but just, some word. need something. March is going to be upon us before we know it. Damn, like really need to know. Need to know, Jim. Yeah. Anyway, God, now it's 50 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna go. Hope you're doing all okay out there. Just. I haven't got another thing yet.